Hey, you guys, this is your Power Builder entrepreneur, Chuck Hardon. Hope everybody's well out there. Come on, check in. We're going to get started. Got a great conversation, had a great topic recommended today for us to discuss. So go ahead and check in. For those guys who are just checking in, don't know me, swipe and share. You can share this with all of your Facebook friends if you want to go on Facebook or tweet it out. And if you go to the left-hand side of your screen and push up or push over, hit share. So we're going to have a great conversation because my objective is to talk to you about just from a real perspective, a perspective of a real guy. You know, I always tell people I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist. Wasn't blessed in that area, but I was blessed enough to be a real dude. So having my conversations coming from a standpoint of strength because it's come from probably the same standpoint of what all of us go through. We all go through life. So if you're checking in with me, as you can tell, I am driving. So if I'm driving, that means I'm not looking at the screen. I had somebody hit me on Facebook and say it was so dangerous for me to do this, but I'm not looking at the screen. I'm paying attention to the road, and I'm just having a conversation. So if you can talk on the phone to somebody while you're driving, or if you can have somebody in the passenger seat next to you and have a conversation, you can do what I'm doing right now. All right, so safety first. So I do appreciate that and appreciate that person for really looking out for me. Thank you very, very much. All right, so today our conversation is going to be about a key word and something I think everyone is looking for, but I believe have a misconception of what it really means. And the message was about balance. They say, I want to have balance in my life. You know, when I think about that, I think about being balanced all the way around, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, with family time, with business time, with all the things you got going on. You want to be sure that you keep a very balanced week, okay? So I want to kind of address that because I think a lot of people have a very bad misconception about that and thinking that life should always be balanced. If you speak to anyone that is massively successful, anyone that has had massive success, they will tell you that they spent a lot of their life out of balance because you have to give it full focus and attention, right? So I don't mean neglect your family. I don't mean neglect your other responsibilities. But when you really want to go after something, you got to give it massive attention and you have to be deliberate about it and be non-negotiable about it. And it might only be for a short period of time. You know, I do network marketing. So in network marketing, 90-day blast is kind of what you really build your business on. Giving it very hard, consistent, strong effort for 90 days. And after that 90 days, it doesn't mean you stop and do nothing. It means that now you can push back on it because you put enough in the pipeline, you got enough momentum going that you can periodically tap in still every day, but not 5 hours a day, not 4 hours a day. But you got to give it that initial hard drive to get it going. And people feel, or sometimes starts to feel bad because they say, well, I feel like I'm so out of balance. I'm just not giving it all. But in actuality, you've been out of balance in other areas until this point. Most of the time, you have been financially unbalanced. And you've just gotten comfortable and used to being out of balance financially. You got it to the point where you're used to struggling to pay bills or kind of getting things to go by because that's what we saw our parents do. That's what we saw our peers do around us. So you think that's what it's supposed to be, but you're really financially out of balance. And to get that balanced off, you have to give it a lot of attention, okay? So the conversation today is simply not about necessarily what to do, but don't beat yourself up when some things start to be neglected. All right? It's very difficult to be an entrepreneur, to start a business, to try to add an additional stream of income and still do everything that you were doing in your life before. And that's what people get confused of, is that they think they can do everything they've been doing and just give their business a 10 minutes a day, if that, and they expect results. It's so unrealistic. If they start a part-time job, they wouldn't give a part-time job an hour a day, 2 hours a day, at least giving it 4. But you expect to have a part-time business to pay you, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month on top of what you're doing. And you won't even give it an hour a day because you say, I'm too busy with everything I have to do in life. Some things need to be neglected. It will definitely take sacrifice. So no matter what you're doing, whether it's not necessarily even business, let's just say it's losing weight or getting healthy. You want to lose weight. Well, you're going to have to take some time away from some of the things you're doing to work out. And you might not have to go to a gym. You might not even have to get a personal trainer. But you need to set aside at least an hour to do some type of physical activity. And the hour just doesn't appear. You have to make it happen, not just say it. So when you're doing the things like that, anything that's worth having, it will require three things: discipline, consistency, and sacrifice. If you're not willing to put in the discipline to do it consistently and be willing to sacrifice, then it will never get done. So a young lady that was part of my business team, she was just saying how she was so busy with work, and then she had all of her church obligations because God is number one in her life. And I applaud her for that, but I'm not saying God shouldn't be number one. But I'm saying if you want to do or be successful in this business, you can't be the president of the usher board, you can't be the section leader of your church choir, and be over the children's ministry and expect to still have time to do this. It's not, something has to give, And I'm not saying you shouldn't be committed to your spirituality. I'm saying that it will take some sacrifice. And if you can't sacrifice from your job, what else do we have? Another young lady said, well, my kids come first in my life, period. That is it. I do everything for my kids. I love my kids. Besides, I love my kids. So, I understand. And and the reason we're having this conversation is because we're having a special event, a training event. We're bringing in about 2 multimillionaires to come help train. It's been very successful in what we do. 2 multimillionaires, and they were coming in to train. And it was Thanksgiving. Not Thanksgiving. It was Halloween, right before Thanksgiving, right? Halloween, trick-or-treat was on a Thursday. And the event was on Thursday. It was from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That's it. And she said, well, Miss, I know you're having your special event and all, but it is Halloween, and I have to take my kids trick-or-treating because my kids come first in my life. And was real attitude about the whole thing too, right? I was like, okay, well, just so we totally clear, I had to let them know my kids are very important to me too. And they're definitely a factor of any decisions that I make. We think about our children. But what I can say is, I'm not saying put your kids or put this business in front of your kids. What I am saying is put this event in front of that event. Trick or treat happen every year. And what you doing, celebrating ghosts and goblins anyway? What are you doing? Right? The millionaires will be here for one day. They can't readjust their schedule to yours. If you want the information, if you want to know what they know, if you want to be able to do what they do, and they're willing to come and share with you, and this was an event that you didn't even have to pay for, and you can't show up, then understand that your sacrifice is not there. Because you told me you were doing this business because of your kids. You told me you were doing this business to help them or to be able to financially help them. So what do which one is more important? Taking them trick-or-treat for Halloween, or putting yourself in a financial position where you can afford to give them the best education possible? Which one is more important to you? And I just let her decide. When she was all neck rolling and everything and walked off and all that, cool, I know I'm going to be. So cool. She did come to the event, probably about 30 minutes late, still having a little attitude when she walked in. But by the time she left, she was thanking me so much that she came. I should have threw it back in the face, shouldn't I? That wouldn't have been nice. So all I'm saying is when it comes to being balanced in life, it will require sacrifice. It will. And not little sacrifice. It's like, well, I guess I won't watch American Idol this season. That's not a sacrifice. That's not, that's not giving up a lot. That's giving up you sitting on your couch. You know, it might require a financial sacrifice. It will definitely require a time sacrifice. But if your goal and your reason and your vision for doing it is big enough, it is all worth it. All right? So that's my conversation for today. Don't beat yourself up when you find yourself focusing in on what you know you need the biggest help in with being balanced. You will have to sacrifice, and everyone that is successful will tell you the exact same thing that they had to sacrifice in order for them to get it. All right, it's Chuck Hardon, your Power Builder entrepreneur, and I'm empowering you so you can empower everything around you. I'm coming to a little traffic here. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead, enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully this was helpful. Swipe and share because they can look at the replay. If you need somebody in your team or somebody in your life that needs to hear this, please let them know. It might become better from a different voice. All right, so you guys make it a great one.